hope I think everyone joined, right? Okay. Okay. We can start the today's session. Good morning, guys. Again, today module we are going to cover database directory layout. Okay, what is the home directory? What is the data directory? So inside the home directory, what are the utilities we have? And inside the data directory, what are the folders and what are the configurations files we have? Those things we will discuss, and we will cover maximum available the files and the directories and everything. And going forward, you will get in each session you will get each and every file related information. Suppose if you think about the parameter files, so that is our next module, configuration file management. There you will get the better understanding of how what are the types of parameters files we have and how we can play with the parameters. Okay, so everything you will get it in each module. So once it is once we are reached to the particular module. Okay, so this module objective is we are going to discuss the bin directory. Okay, that is PostgreSQL home directory we can call. And then we are going to discuss about overview of the data directory layout. Okay, and then data directory tree structure, how data directory will be. Okay, so that you will see. Okay, first thing is PostgreSQL home directory or a bin directory. So whenever if you install your PostgreSQL cluster, okay, so we have two important directories. One is bin directory, and second one is home directory. Second one is data directory. So in general, whenever if you initialize your cluster, okay, the data directory area will be initialized. Okay, so we already seen right yesterday we completed with the installation. So 3 types of installation. So while initializing the cluster, so or maybe to initializing the cluster, we can use initdb utility to initialize the cluster. Whenever if we initialize the cluster, okay, so you will get the data directory structure. So inside the data directory structure, so we have a different types of the folders, and each folder having its own functionality. So you will get a better understanding in our future sessions. Okay, so and there is another utility. So while you are playing with stopping and restarting and reloading related to all these things, we can use in general, we can use PG_CTL utility. So this utility is available.
Sorry, Raj. Actually, we are not able to see your current slide. Still, we are in the first.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
This is the issue. Yeah. Now you are able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so just move the back one step back. Module object. You are able to see my screen. Where you are, which screen you are seeing now?
In the third screen.
Okay, okay. This is some kind of issue in my laptop. Okay, okay. This mode is fine for you. You are able to see. I'm not putting the slideshow.
Yes.
Is it? Okay. Okay, so the PGCTL is one of the utility we can use frequently in the sense here for practicing we are using very frequently, but with the help of the PG_CTL utility, so we can start our PostgreSQL cluster, we can stop our PostgreSQL cluster, okay, and we can use the reload and kill and promote, all these parameters, all these options we can say, not parameters, all these options we can use, and we can play around with the PostgreSQL cluster by using the PG_CTL utility. So this utility will get it from the binaries. Okay, so whenever you install the PostgreSQL cluster in the binary, okay, you will get all this information. Next thing is the PSQL. Okay, so this is very important tool. Okay, so every time, okay, in the real time, or maybe we can say every time, so while you are playing with on-prem PostgreSQL instance, so we will collect your PostgreSQL databases, or you can fire your PostgreSQL related commands, okay, after connecting to the PSQL. The PSQL is equivalent to SQL prompt in Oracle. Okay, so this one PSQL like on-prem systems, or maybe if you are like playing with Cloud SQL, any instances, Cloud SQL, cloud related any PostgreSQL instances, either you can install the PostgreSQL client or you can use the GUI tools. Okay, the best GUI tool for PostgreSQL is pgadmin. Okay, so either we can use the pgadmin or PSQL. Apart from pgadmin in the market, okay, we have n number of like open source tools are available, but the best tool for PostgreSQL to have the UI related functionality if you want to get it. So then the best option is like pgadmin. Pgadmin is equivalent, okay, the similar or equivalent to SQL developer, Oracle SQL developer, or maybe if someone is from MS SQL server background, okay, this is equivalent to pgadmin is equivalent to like MS SCI. Okay, so then we have the like some other utilities. Okay, these utilities are like pg underscore dump. Okay, so we have the like backup sessions. Okay, there you will get like a better understanding of the what is the pg underscore dump. Okay, what is the pg underscore dump wall, and what is the pg underscore restore. Okay, these concept you will get better understanding in a backup and recovery module. Okay, but just for our understanding, okay, pg dump or pg restore, okay, these utilities are equivalent to Oracle, okay, expdp is equivalent to pg underscore dump, okay, and impdp is equivalent to pg underscore restore. Okay, so you will get the hands-on things. Okay, you will get like hands-on things, and also you will get like what are the different types of options available here in PostgreSQL to take the like logical backup by using the pg dump and pg restore and pg dump all utility. Okay, so and next thing is like pg control data. Okay, this is also one better utility we can say in PostgreSQL. If you want to retrieve any information from the control file, okay, so with help of the pg underscore control data, so you are able to read your control file. Okay, so there you have like so much of information is available. Okay, so what is the checkpoint information, what is the the PostgreSQL version, okay, what is the catalog version. Okay, so like many details you can see in the control file. With help of it means with help of this utility we can just read the control file. Okay, any doubts with this guys, with this particular slide?
I'm good.
Thank you. Malati, Abhishek, who else in the call?
So same kind of options are available like for EXPDP, like only taking the metadata backup.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have all the options. You will feel this is very like we can say exactly equivalent to IXP, EXPDP, IMPDP. You will get better understanding, Sadhan, in backup and recovery. Okay, there we will start with the first module, first session. We will start with the data dump utility only. That is PG dump and PG restore and PG dump all. Okay.
So PG control data, it's a kind of like taking that configuration file as into a text convert file.
Yes, it is like the representation of like you are able to read with help control file with help of the PG underscore control data. Okay. Yeah. I'm just moving to next slide. Oh, sorry. I thought I'm in slide mode. Okay. Okay, so and these are some other like we can say the binary utilities. Okay, so the restart wall, receive wall. Okay, all these things you will get better understanding. Okay, you will get better understanding while we are discussing about the relevant topic. Okay, restart wall, receive wall, all these things you will see like whenever if you're like playing with the like replications. Okay, and next one is like PG underscore base backup. Okay, this is the like one of the like the backup utility from PostgreSQL. Okay, this is the like physical online backup. Okay, so with help of the PG underscore base backup, okay, we can take the PostgreSQL backup. This utility is coming from the native PostgreSQL or vanilla flavor of the PostgreSQL. Okay, and actually like maybe this is maybe very early stage. Okay, this is maybe very early stage of like discussing on the backups. Okay, but just to better understanding for you, okay, the PG base backup is the one native backup utility from PostgreSQL community. So in real-time systems, okay, so you have like some other backup utilities are available from the third parties, okay. So most of the real-time systems, instead of the PG base backup, okay, so they will use the PG backrest, barman, okay, those utilities. Why? Because until version 16, okay, so we don't have any other, okay, we don't have any other the incremental or cumulative level of the backups, okay. So that we will discuss more, in the backup and the restore module, okay. Okay, the PG checksum, okay, this is equivalent to like Oracle DB underscore verify utility. So what exactly it will do, like in PostgreSQL, okay, it will like it will read all the like blocks, okay. So and it will detect is there any block corruption is available in the like PostgreSQL. It will detect, but it will not perform any the repair of the blocks, okay. This you will get the better understanding, okay. This all the concept PG base backup, PG checksum, and everything you will get better understanding in backup and recovery classes, okay. And the next and very important thing is like vacuuming DB, okay. So this is the like highest maintenance activity we can say, or maybe a very important activity in PostgreSQL, okay. So what it will do exactly, so vacuuming, it will remove the dead tuples, guys. Here I think the new name, okay, what is the dead tuple, okay. So dead tuples are just, we will give some very basic statement on dead tuples. Dead tuples are like whenever if you like if you're performing any DML operations, okay, so dead tuples will be generated in PostgreSQL, okay, and these dead tuples will store into the same table, okay. So guys, like just I'm repeating, okay, in PostgreSQL, okay, whenever if you are performing any DML operations, okay, that whenever if you perform DML operations, pre-image data will be stored into the same table, okay. And here there is no undo management or undo space management, okay, undo table space, okay. So how this pre-image data will store, okay, so how we will get the data consistency and everything, you will get better understanding in MVCC, okay, multi-version concurrency control, how the MVCC, multi-version concurrency control, will play a role in PostgreSQL, okay. You will get the better understanding on MVCC and vacuuming concepts, okay. Any doubts, guys, with this slide?
Checksum is a kind of maintenance job that we used to do it at every weekend or something like that.
No.
Mhm.
It is not like maintenance job, okay. So you need to enable the checksum while you are initializing your cluster, okay. So otherwise it's kind of optional. First thing is it's kind of optional. If you want to initialize the checksum, you can initialize while initializing the cluster. Even after that also there is an option to initialize your checksum in your PostgreSQL cluster. The main funda or main like use of the like PG underscore checksum is it like just to detect, okay, corrupted blocks, okay. Suppose if you're performing the backup, maybe you will feel like, okay, during the RMAN backup, okay, so what it will do, okay, it will like detect the like corrupted blocks, okay, in the block level, and there is a funda, right, in RMAN, okay. Here it is not like that. It is similar to the detecting the block corruption, but during the backup it is simply like skip the corrupted blocks, okay. It will not perform any repair or something. Yeah, Malati, please.
Yeah, one question with reference to this DB receive wall.
Uh-huh.
In Oracle, we have recovery disk size and we can manually control the amount of archelog area, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
Oracle
FRA.
internally,
Yeah.
no, anything above 80%, it automatically deletes the archeologs.
Mm-hmm.
So similar to that, is there anything in Postgres, or this is the only way to clear up some space?
No, we have a retention. Okay, so we can set the retention period for archives, and even you have some utility called PG receive all, right? So even with the help of this, you can do it. So by default, if you have replication, then you can set few parameters Once your archives is already applied in the standby, it will clear automatically. So we have different options. We'll discuss. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Okay.
these wall related restart wall, everything you will get the better understanding in the replication. Okay, and even if you're planning for like PITR in backups, okay, there you will get the better understanding of these particular parameters. Okay. Okay. Any other doubts, guys?
Is it same like Oracle, like PGDC wall parameter that we need to set the size? It depends on the transactions generated per day.
To actually to hold those particular like the wall information. Okay, so we will like giving some kind of limit here. Okay, so this one, yeah, maybe we can say it is equivalent to that one. Yeah.
This parameter will indicate some size only, right? To store
Yes.
the archives. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it a dynamic parameter that we can change it anytime, any point of time? Dynamically?
No, PG receive all is not a parameter. It is a binary file. Okay, with the help of this binary file, we can able to manage the RK logs.
Yeah. But size we can reduce and increase it, right?
Yeah, here we are not mentioning any size. We have just setting the
Giving the-
database in arclog mode, and we are
Giving
just
the
pointing
location.
out, yeah, we are just pointing out to a specific location where it has to store your archives. We don't have like FRA, right? So FRA you are mentioning the size 500 GB something, but here it is unlimited. So you have to manage of clearing the archives and
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a destination I will mention, and up to the available size into that particular destination, it will grow.
So if the size is, getting full, like, more than 85%. So for example, if it is full, so what could be the, what will be the impact on database?
See, this particular directory is not included in within the like PostgreSQL cluster. Okay, we don't have like option like the directory is going to full or directory is full, something like that. Okay, so there may be like auto flush. Okay, so it is going to happen, and we need to have the like proper monitoring on this particular location. Okay, so maybe the threshold we need to put. Okay, so but the thing is, archiving will not happen. Okay, so directly and indirectly it is going to affect like if it is in arclog mode. Okay, the indirect effect is like system is like going to hung state or something like that.
Okay.
But this one based on the retention, we need to give the proper value. Okay, this you will get better understanding. So what are the types of like wall modes we will use? Okay, there everything you will get better understanding in backup and recovery. Okay, in PITR and also replication. PITR time we will give the like how we can enable the archives, which are the types we can use. Okay, how we can mention the destinations and everything you will get better understanding.
So if we can configure the clustering, say any replication, so the replication will be happening between the from PG receive wall, or it's from PG reset wall? Transferring this, transactions replication between, two servers, it will be happen from here, or
it depends on what type of replication you are going to set up. If you set up log-based replication, okay, directly your archives you can configure to remote standby mission. Okay, if it is streaming replication, then the architecture is different. Okay, it will directly connect to your primary wall files and it will receive the data. So there we don't need to set anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, guys, if there is no doubts, we can skip into next slide. Okay, so this is a directory layout. Okay, so whenever you finish initializing your cluster, so there is one more important directory it will create. Okay, and it is containing like we can say like the data directory in the PostgreSQL. Okay, so we can set it in environment variable, that is the PG data. Okay, so actually this is the like data location. Okay, data location for the PostgreSQL. It is containing like many folders, and also it is containing the many files. Okay, so some of the files here you can see the system database files we have. Okay, and user database files. Okay, and there are like configuration files. Okay, we have almost like 4 or 5 important configuration files. There, those configuration files you will see in the like configuration file management. And the next thing is here the configuration files it is equivalent to like SP file and P file in Oracle. Okay, apart from SP file and P file in Oracle, so sorry, if you compare Oracle with PostgreSQL, we have some other files also. We have some pg_hpa.conf, pg_identity.conf. Okay, you will get better understanding in configuration file management. That is our next session. Okay, maybe like it isn't tomorrow. Okay, there you will get like better understanding, okay, how we can play with these parameter files. Okay, and next thing is the wall files. Okay, and also we have the control files and some other important files. Okay, you will see, okay, we will show you like what are the like a set of the files we have. Okay, you will get the better understanding.
So do we have trace files also here? Database related trace files.
Trace files, we don't see like any trace files here in SQL.
Yeah, that if you want to, enable everything, what is happening in the database, you have different options. That is, it will also appear in the same log file only. It will not generate separate trace file kind of thing.
Okay.
Everything will be logged in the alert log. Okay, you have to define what type of data you have to append to the log file. So it has so many options. So based on that, we will define it.
Yeah, so the level of trace you want to make it into the log file. So there is a log directory. In the log directory, you will get the like alert log file, PostgreSQL alert log file. There you will mention. Okay, you want to like trace all DDL operations. You want to trace all DML operations. But again, okay, so based on type of your application, how many DMLs are happening. Okay, you need to consider all these things also. Why? Because if it is enabled like the DML trace also, so it is going to affect your the growth of the like the location, the log location. Okay, you need to consider your things. Okay, you can plan accordingly.
Okay. So
Okay.
for example, database is performing very slow. And so from DB side, we verified everything looks good. Even if you raise any support ticket, so what kind of log files they will look for us?
Okay, so I think maybe Sadan, this is very early stage of the like, discussion. Okay, so there are some set of the like locations we need to find it. Okay, there are some set of views we need to see it. Okay, to tune our PostgreSQL. But if we discuss that topic now, it is going to different direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have performance tuning like module. I think module 16 or maybe module 15. Okay, there you will get, okay, like how we need to analyze, how we can tune the query, okay, how we can find like untuned queries, okay, how optimizer will work, okay, what is the explain plan, how we can generate the explain plans, how we can generate the AWR report, like not AWR report, AWR like report in PostgreSQL. Everything we will discuss in performance tuning.
Yeah, I understood, but I think now we are at the different configuration files, so that's right.
Yeah.
To this question, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because we have some different tools like AHF, TFA, so that they will ask us to run it
Yeah.
from server side. That will gather the information from OS level database side, right? So
Yes. What are the tools we are using? Like in what are the available tools are in the market? Okay, since this is open source, okay,
yeah.
so you can develop your own tool. Okay, I can develop my own tool. Okay, and Abhishek develops his own tool. Okay, but the thing is, in each tool, okay, each tool having some specification to tune your database cluster to give your suggestion. Like this is like the configuration changes you need to do from your side. Okay, so the PG tune. Okay, we are going to discuss in I think Suresh, like parameter file management only, right? We are going to give PG tune or performance tuning.
Yeah, parameter file management.
So next session you will see, okay, so the PG tune is like one open source tool. Okay, it is widely using in the market. Okay, in the real-time systems. Okay, that will give some better like tuning parameters. If you are like, this is the capacity or maybe this is my configurations. Okay, how I can allocate my parameters, how I can segregate the like allocated SGA, sorry, not SGA, sorry. Okay, the the memory. Okay, so see, we are working on all the technologies now. Our words are moving into like SGA, PGA. Okay, the memory, how we can allocate to the like work memory, maintenance work memory. Okay, everything it will give the like the almost like a near real time related configuration, but again. Okay, so as a DBA, you need to decide. Okay, so but it will give almost like 90% of like the recommendation to tune your PostgreSQL database. But yes, this may be the early stage of the discussion, Sadan. Okay, it will go into different direction. Okay, you will get the better understanding in performance tuning.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this is a like a directory layout. Okay, so this directory layout yesterday we already gone through somehow. Okay, so the PG data. Okay, so the PG data is a like we can say the master directory or the base directory of the PostgreSQL, and inside the PG data we have some subdirectories. Okay, each subdirectory is having they're like unique feature and unique functionality. Okay, so the first subdirectory we need to discuss like the base directory. Okay, this base directory, and you can see here the numbers. Okay, these numbers are the like or like object identifiers. Okay, you will get these numbers related information in table space management. Okay, so why, like maybe I will give some info here. Okay, so whenever if you create any database. Okay, so guys, in our first session we said like PostgreSQL is a object relational database management system. Okay, so the word, okay, object relational here in PostgreSQL, if you create any component, okay, if you create user, if you create table space, if you create database, okay, it is associated or it is included with one object identifier. Okay, that is a unique number. Okay, so how we can manage these object identifiers, okay, for the tables and objects for table spaces and users. Okay, you will see better understanding in table space management. Okay, related to these numbers. Okay, so just you can have these are the object identifiers, guys. Okay, so in table space management you will get the better understanding. Okay, next thing is the global. Okay, next thing is the global. Okay, it is comparing the it is having the maybe data dictionary information. Okay, so and the next thing is like PG logical. Okay, and next one is like PG stat and PG table space. Okay, so suppose if you think about the PG stat, okay, it is containing the statistics information. Okay, the entire statistics of the PostgreSQL cluster. Those information will be included in PG_stat. And the next thing is the PG_ table space. Okay, the PG_ table space. Okay, this is the directory, and we need to discuss more about this directory. And remaining all directories are maybe if you read one time and if you read any document, you will get it. Okay, that this is a very important directory, and we need to have a separate class, table space management. Okay, here if you see. Under the PG data, we have the PG_table space, and outside of the like directory, we have the table space. What is the difference between these two? Okay, you will get better understanding in table space management. Okay, but for now, the PG_table space, whenever if you create any table, whenever if you create any database, okay, so by default, okay, so the location for the user data is, okay, the PG_tbl SPC under the like base directory. Okay, so whenever if you create any customized table space, okay, whenever if you create any customized table space, okay, you will point out, okay, okay, customer table space in the sense you are going to create your own table space into your own location. Okay, so there is a relation between the PG_table space and table customized table space, that you will get the better understanding. Inside that, how the OIDs will store. Okay, so like without customized table space and where exactly these OIDs will store, how the tables will store. Okay, so with the customized table space, without customized table spaces, what is the differences? Okay, and everything you will get the better understanding in table space management, guys. Okay, so these are the like some information. Okay, some other like the files. Okay, under the base directory are some of the like directories. Okay, so this we discussed base directory. This is the base directory. Okay, containing the like some amount of like subdirectories. Okay, and next thing is we discuss the global directory. Okay, na? So this global directory having the like cluster wide information, it means metadata of the PostgreSQL cluster. Okay, those information will be stored into the like PostgreSQL global directory. It means it containing that catalog information. It means catalogs are nothing but like some dictionary views. Okay, we have the views like pg underscore class. We have the views like pg underscore tables table space. Okay, so pg underscore database, like this we have like some dictionary views. Okay, so pg underscore class is like to retrieve, it is equivalent to db underscore tables. Okay, so this catalog views information will be stored into the like in the global directory. Okay, so and also we have the committed ts, and this particular thing, it is coming from the 9 version onwards. It means 9.1 version and later onwards, it is actually it is having the committed track of your PostgreSQL transactions. Okay, and it is included with the committed CLOG buffer. I think, hope you remember recalling a PostgreSQL architecture. You will see there is a one component in shared buffer cache. Okay, or memory area there. Shared memory area. So there we have the CLOG, okay, CLOG buffer. Okay, it is containing that the track of the committed operations. Okay, so what is the main use of these operations are to maintain the data consist in the PostgreSQL. It is having, okay, it is having the track of the committed operations by using the MVCC technique. Okay, by using the MVCC technique. Okay, so these committed operations will take, okay, the CLOG or committed TS related things will be very useful in the MVCC to maintain the database consistency. Okay, so that you will get better understanding in MVCC in classes. But for now, just to remember, okay, this committed TS or like CLOG buffers is useful to maintaining, okay, to maintaining the what is your transaction related committed status. Okay, that you will get it. Okay, guys, I'm not going to cover everything here. Okay, why? Because maybe you will feel like I'm reading the document here. Okay, this you will get it. Okay, this you will get it from any documentation as well. Okay, so yeah, we can say some logical. Okay, so containing the like logical decoding of your PostgreSQL cluster. Okay, and what we can have. So we have the replication slot. Okay, so this you will get better understanding in replication. Okay, so like replication slot is nothing but we are going to create some checkpoint kind of thing while we are playing with the replication in PostgreSQL. Okay, so okay, so that time this particular pg underscore replication slot related directory will be updated with the values. Okay, there you will get a better understanding. Okay, so okay, so what else we have? We have like serial, we have the log. Okay, log you already have, right, information, right? This is like alert log location. Okay, it containing, this is a one location. Okay, this is a one location by default. The alert log information will be available. Okay, if you want to point out into different location, even you can point out. Okay, so instead of the log location. Okay, so like as Sadhan you asked. Okay, so the log is like the level of like tracing enable. Okay, so then based on that only the logging information will be available. Okay, in general like the DDLs will be captured into the like log file. Okay, if you want to enable the DML operations also. Okay, so that also will be like noted down and traces down in log file. Okay, so next like snapshot and pg stat. Okay, stat tmp. So it is everything having its own features. Okay, everything having its own features. Okay, so maybe we can cover like the pg wall and pg tablespace already covered. Okay, pg wall is a like very important directory. We can say it is containing. Okay, it is containing what we can say, val is nothing but write ahead log in PostgreSQL. It is equivalent to RK log in Oracle. Okay, transactional log in okay, that's a transactional login MS SQL server. Okay, this directory, so in general this directory will hold like 1 GB related files, okay, by default. Okay, but based on your requirement, while initiating the cluster, okay, you can change this the size of the like wall directory also. Okay, so inside the wall directory, okay, so inside the wall directory, what it is happening, 16 MB of the files, okay, 16 MB of the wall files will store until it will grow allocated GB, okay, allocated side to the PG wall. Then after, if your database is not kept in the arclog mode, okay, so then automatically it will flush, okay, it will flush and it will rewrite into the like new wall records or new change vectors into the like wall files into under the PG underscore wall directory. Okay, okay, so these are the like some important things, guys. And what else we have? Okay, the PG underscore exact. Okay, this is the one of the like directory in PostgreSQL. Okay, it is containing. Okay, it is containing the like committed status of the data. Okay, and also it is giving the like transactional related metadata. Okay, so the main purpose of these things are, okay, so to like how MVCC technology, okay, so like related to this committed logs, C logs, okay, this exact, okay, everything, okay, it is relevant to MVCC technique in PostgreSQL, okay, how the data consistency will manage in PostgreSQL by using the versioning mechanism, how it is different, okay, compared to other RDBMS systems, okay, so the PG underscore exact, okay, to maintain the data consistency, okay, really by having the like transactional committed related status, okay, so like the particular time, okay, it will be useful, okay, and also we have some important parameter files here. We said, okay, so the PG underscore identity.conf, PostgreSQL.auto.conf, postmaster.options, okay, and apart from this we have some other files also, okay, so here we have the two important files, not two, three important files, the PostgreSQL.conf, okay, the PostgreSQL.auto.conf, okay, and PG underscore HP.conf, okay, in real-time systems, okay, mainly you will play with these three parameters very frequently, okay, so maybe if you're building the new system, or maybe if you tune your PostgreSQL cluster, okay, and if you restrict your connections, or if you restrict the like authentication to the PostgreSQL connectivity to the users, okay, so these three parameter files are very much useful. You are playing with the parameters. PG PostgreSQL.conf, PostgreSQL.auto.conf will be useful, okay, and what is the difference between these two? Tomorrow session you will get it, okay, and PG underscore HP.conf, okay, to restrict the user connections at the like host level, user level, database level, okay, so there you will see, okay, the host based authentication, how we can manage the like authentication to the like PostgreSQL, okay, yet host based file, okay, that host based file is PG underscore HP.conf. Okay, in the security, we will show you in even tomorrow session also in the parameter file, we will discuss about the PG underscore HP.conf, but in security, we will provide you, okay, different level of the securities, how we can use in PostgreSQL to protect our PostgreSQL instances, okay, that you will see better understanding in like security management. But tomorrow session, you will get what are the options, what is the MD5, what is the trust algorithms, okay, and what is the user, and everything you will get it tomorrow. And what else? We have the PG underscore version. Okay, this is like the major version of the PostgreSQL. Okay, this is some utility. By using this utility, you will get it. Okay, what is the like the version of the PostgreSQL? Okay, yeah, I think that's it for like the theoretical session. We can jump into the like practicals. Okay, guys, any doubts until here? Anyone feel it is going fast?
No, there are a lot of files. It's very hard to remember. We need to.
Yeah, yes, exactly. You
Yeah,
need to
don't-
see even yeah, we are able to see, yes, Suresh. Okay. So Gopi, like there are like lot of things, even if we discuss also, maybe you will feel like I'm reading the content. Okay. Okay. So better just you can go it. Okay. So PostgreSQL org. Okay. There you will get like many things, but better thing is whenever you are like going for the interviews, okay, better you can just recap those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Suresh, regarding the yesterday session, right? I have one question regarding the installation.
mhm.
So we discussed about the installation and the installation part.
Yeah.
And is there any way like which installation method we done it for the build the cluster? Like is there any way we can able to test that whether we went with the source method or RPM method or M method?
If it is source method, okay, you have the source code in your system. Okay, if you don't have the source code, you have it with M installation. So with you can just check with with M check. Okay, if you have the Postgres which is you install as a repository, okay, you have to check with M command. Okay, if you're not able to that package, then you have installed with the source code. Okay.
Currently the system which you have it with the M method or the source method?
See, in
Suresh here?
real time, most of the people will use M and source code. So those are the two main methods they will use. So again, it depends. It depends entirely on your access. Okay, if you have flexibility with your system admins, and if you provide the commands from the root, whatever they have to execute, so that then you can go with the M method. So it's easy. So only thing is, if you want to customize your cluster, like if you want to enable checksum example, or if you want to enable different block size. Okay, in that case, this M method is like pre-packaged, right? You don't have options to change like default size or checksum, these kind of things. If you want to enable with your customized method, then you can go with source code. In source code, you have different options. For example, character set. Okay, even you can change the character set at the database level, but still, if we want to control entire things like character set, block size, checksum, so those things you can use the source code method. You have good control over there. What are the options you have? Okay. So, but in the M method, it is pre-packaged and it is ready-made. We can say ready-made cluster. Okay. You just need to run M install Postgres server. That's it. So then you can start your cluster, whatever the data location which you want, or by default, it will go to varlib location.
Okay, thank you.
And even if you go with source method, okay, by default, this logger process is not enabled. Okay, you have to configure this logger process for logging. So by this, you will get some predefined parameters as well, like logging the alert log to the database. Okay, these things will come. So those things you have to manage. So if you really want to customize everything based on your requirement, you can go with source method. Or if you go with M method and later if you want to change any parameters and such things, you can do. But a few things you cannot do after you initialize the cluster, like example, this block size. Okay, default block size is 8K, right? So you cannot change it later point of time once you initialize the cluster. Okay, so we have this cluster which we have built yesterday with the M repository method. And for example, if you want to build another cluster, okay, so with a different location, okay, so we'll see how we can build the other cluster. So for now, what I'm doing, I'm just creating the directory for the PG data main 15 new cluster. So I'm just creating this directory. So even if you give 777, okay, later point of time, your initialized cluster will change the permissions. It requires 755, I guess. Okay, it will change to 755. And I'm just granting the ownership. To this path. Okay. Now I'm going to initialize the cluster from the Postgres user. So I know the binaries is installed here, right? So in this location, if you just go to this location, you will find all the binaries, right? So if you see here, initdb is one of the utility, and we have pgdump. All this, which we have discussed few of them today. Okay, don't worry, you will get all these things. So with the help of this initialize.db, you can able to initialize the cluster, right? So I'm just -d, and I'm just initializing the new cluster. Okay, so in this is an empty directory which just now I created. Okay, so when I initialize the cluster, it will create all the necessary files. Okay, so now if you want to start your cluster, you can just start. Okay, this warning, don't worry. This is because of your default authentication is trust, which is passwordless authentication in the HPE.conf. It is just giving based on your requirement, you can change this value. Okay, if you want to protect with password based, you can change. This is the warning. Okay, so now I'm going to start my cluster. This is my new cluster. Okay, so what it is telling, permission denied. Okay. Okay, server has started. So if you go and check in your log file, so why it hasn't started? Because already one cluster is running with 5432 port. Okay, you cannot start the other cluster with the same port. Okay, so if you get this kind of error, okay, sometimes you will not understand. If you see here, it is telling permission denied, but if you go and check in the alert log, okay, then you will understand exactly why it is not able to allow. Okay, so it is telling permission denied, but this is not the correct reason. Okay, if you go inside the alert log, you will understand better. This is because of your port issue, because you cannot run with the same port in the same cluster. Okay, so now you could see here you have two clusters. One Postgres instance is running on this data location, another is running on this total data location, and the port is different. This is running with 5432 default port, and this I have changed the port like 5433 or something, right? Now we know that logger process, checkpoint process, background writer process, wall writer process, what it does, right? So wall writer will write your data from shared buffers to data files, right? Sorry, BG writer, okay? Background writer will write your data from shared buffers to your data files. Wall writer will write your redo entries or change vectors from your wall buffer to wall files, okay? Now, if you go to this location, so you have some set of subfolders which it's created automatically when you initialize the cluster. So now let's go to global, okay? So this global will have all the, so this global folder will have all your global catalog tables, okay, dictionary tables or base tables, whatever you call, okay? And inside this, you also see one main important called pg_control, okay? So this pg_control is your control file, okay? If you want to see this control file, you have to use pg control data utility, okay? So that utility will be in your bin location, okay? So if you just go to the bin location, you have pg control data, okay? So with the help of this utility, you can able to read your control file. So you can just mention -d, and this is your data directory, okay? So it will read your control file and it will give all information like this. For example, what is your catalog version, okay? And what is your last modified, okay? And what is the current LSN number? So LSN number is equivalent to your SCN number, okay? Or what is your wall file, current wall file, which it is writing, okay? And this information you will get, so like huge information you will get from the control file, whether your checksum is enabled or not. It will also show here. By default, checksum is not enabled, so it is 0. Okay, and the default wall segment wall file is 16 MB. Okay, and block size is 8K. Okay, so this all information you will get. Okay, even DB block size or page size is 8K. So like this, you can read your control file. So basically, whenever checkpoint occurs, it will write your latest LSN information in your control file, right? It also write in your control file. Okay. And if you go to PG data location, you have base directory. Okay, in this base directory, you have this kind of numbers. Okay, this numbers is called object IDs of each database. Okay, so don't worry about this object ID. This is just like your database. Okay, inside base directory, you have default databases like template 1, template 0, and so on. Whatever you have, template 0, template 1, and Postgres, right? So inside this, you have some set of files. These files, we call it as a, we can call it as a data file or relation file, or so we can call it as a like a file node name. So whatever it may be. So here you could say these are all, we can call it as a default data files, okay? Or default table files, we can say. So like this, each database have its own files. For example, 1. Okay. So if you want to find out 1 is which database, okay, and 4 is which database or something, you have a view called OID from the PG_underscore database that we will see, okay. So in the base directory, you have all your default databases. And even when you create your customized database, it will create one more object ID and it will store. And we have log, right? So this is your alert log. Okay. So whatever you are doing, it will just log with this. This is the default format of your log file. Even you can change this. If you don't want this format, you can change it. So this will write all your error log information by default. If you find any errors, it will capture and it will write. Okay. So all the errors in the alert log. So don't worry, we will discuss more about this alert log, how we can configure and what is the best practices for this alert log. Okay. For now, we need to understand each folder, what it does exactly. Okay. Apart from this, we have postgresql.conf, autoconf, hp.conf, identica.conf. These are the 4 important configuration files which we need to remember. So this you will understand for tomorrow class. Okay. Now let's understand the few commands, okay, in Postgres. If you want to see the list of databases, you can just use -l, or if you just use -l plus option, it will give still few more information, okay. By default, you will get Postgres, template 0 and template 1, okay. So template 0 is unmodifiable. It is only read. You can only read the data from the template 0. You cannot modify any data. But whereas in the template 1, you can use, or you can even write data in the template 1. But when you create any new customized database, it will take the template from here. For example, if I just create database Skyoops, okay. So from where this database will be created? From template 1. So whatever the data it has in the template 1, exactly it will copy to Skyoops database, okay. If I just do L+, I could see here database has been created. So the default template is template 1. Okay, for example, if you want to create your own customized, or if you want to create your own few set of objects, like if you want to enable editing, okay, those kind of tables, if you want to implement to all other databases, you can just go and create in the template 1. Whenever you are creating any new customized databases, okay, it will copy to here, okay, when you create any customized databases. For example, I will just go to the template 1 by using -c. It will connect to your template 1. And if you want to know to which database you are in and from which user you connected, you can just use /c. It will give the connection information, okay? Or even you can also check Okay, connection info. It will give from which socket you have connected and from which port also you connected and which database you connected and from which user you connected. So default user is Postgres, right? So if you don't mention any specific user, okay. So template one is just a template database. When you create, it will take from here and it will create your new customized databases. And by default character set is UTF-8. Okay, if you want to change the character set of your database while creating your database, you can specify with the local option. Okay, so there is a option called local. There you can specify whatever character set you need. For example, European character set or something. Okay, so you have a block where you can see what type of character set it supports. Postgres in the PostgreSQL.org. So you can just have a look at, and you can create based on that customized. Based on the client requirement, you can create the character set. Okay, and by default you will have 3 databases, and by default you have only 2 table spaces. One is PG default and PG global. Okay, so PG default is equivalent to your user table space in Oracle. Okay, whenever you create any of your objects, it will go to the PG default. Okay, PG global is like your system table space. Okay, so all your dictionary data will be present in the PG global. Now we can see different P-SQL options. For example, if you want to connect to specific database with specific user, you can just mention -u. For example, you have a user called Sky, okay, and you want to connect to database SkyOps. You can just connect because I don't have this user. So for now, I'm just connecting like this. Okay, you have different options here. If you want to connect to specific database directly with some user, you can just mention -u username, -d database name. Okay, so you directly connect it to SkyOps. If you not mention this, by default, Postgres cluster will connect to Postgres user and Postgres database. Okay, those are the default database and users. Okay, so you can directly connect based on your requirement. You can directly connect to specific database. And
So we need to mention the data path also in the connection string. We are using here we are using -u Postgres and -d database name, right? Likewise, do we need to give the data path as well?
Data, you mean data path means like
PG data, the PG data, the one which we are storing the data files.
No. That is
no.
while starting the cluster only, like you are mentioning that one to start the cluster. Once the cluster is started, okay, automatically it will pick the that location.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are setting the batch profile, right? So you no need to worry about all. Okay. So this one is here.
So I saw some command is mentioning -u username and -h PG data, something like that. Then
No, because
port number.
that is the reason we have set here PG data already and batch profile. So we don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we know how. For example, if you want to connect from remote mission, okay, you have client from other mission, and you want to connect to this database server, okay. So you have to install Postgres client, and from that client you will get P-SQL utility, and you can mention -h the database, remote database name, remote database IP. For example, 192.168.1.20 something, whatever database IP, and then you can connect to that specific user, and you can connect to specific database like this. If you want to connect from remote mission, you can specify with host details from the client if you want to connect. Okay, you can just mention this option and you can connect to your specific database. Okay.
So only host info is enough, or we need to mention port number as well? If you are
by default, if it is 5432, you don't need to mention, but if it is a different port, you have to specify the port as well.
-p, right?
Yeah, -p 5432. So basically default port, you don't need it, but if you are using other ports other than default, you need to specify it.
One question. How to install that Postgres client?
Yeah.
So like in Oracle, we have the different client software which is available.
Yeah, but in Postgres also you have the lightweight client. Okay, you can directly download with M repository, or even you can use the source code as well. Okay, instead of source code, okay, you can just download and you can just do make and make install. Don't initialize the cluster. You can just use that binaries as a client, or even you have in the M repository with the M method you have M install Postgres 15 client or Postgres 14 client, whatever client you need. You can directly go and install the client and you will get only binaries. Okay, with the help of psql command you can connect to any of your remote machine, but you should have connectivity between both the systems, client to database machine. Okay, so you can connect, or even you
So in
can
that same location, I mean, same postgres.org, you can find that client, right?
yes, you can find in the download, same in the download you can find PostgreSQL 15 client. Okay, this is how you can connect to remote machine. And if you have any SSL configured, okay, so SSL in the sense, so basically if you go to any cloud vendor, okay, you have to connect with SSLs, right? So that time you have to connect with a different way. You also need to pass SSL connectivity. That we'll discuss in the security class, how we can enable SSL configuration and how we can connect with SSL connectivity. Okay. And so now I have created this database, and if you want to see the list of list of tables inside this database, you can just use -dt. Okay, -dt is to find your tables, and -di is to find your indexes. -ds is to find your sequence. Okay, and -df is used to find your functions. Okay, so like this you can able to find all your objects. Okay, so very easily. Okay, even you can find from view pg underscore class or pg underscore relation. Okay, so you can able to find objects in what are the objects and what are the object types you have in the specific database, and you can see -dn what are the schemas you have. By default you will get public schema. Okay, so apart from this public schema you also have some pg underscore catalog schema, which is hidden schema. Okay, so there you will get all the dictionary tables from the pg underscore catalog. Okay, so by default you will get the public and pg catalog that is not visible. Okay, that is hidden schema, we can say. And you can so for example, if you want to see the history of my commands, what I executed, so you can just use /s. It will show all the history of my command, whatever I use: drop command, create command, template, connection info. So these all commands which I have typed. And if you just do up arrow, you will find all the previous commands what I typed, right? So this functionality will come when you install readyline package. Okay, so we discussed in the source method, we have installed readline or readline table package, right? So that package will help you to get this option, these functionalities like history command. You can use up arrow to see all your previous command. If you not install that package, you don't get this functionality here. Okay. And now, for example, if you want to run any file, okay, like okay, and now if you want to run any command, you don't need to go inside here. Okay, you can just execute with -c. For example, I want to run select okay. So from psql command, from psql itself, you can execute the commands with -c option. Okay. For example, I want to know my version. Okay, from OS prompt only you can execute. You don't need to connect to psql itself. Okay, you can directly run with the -c option. And if you want to run this particular specific command in specific database or specific user, you can just again mention the specific requirement as usual. Now I have a file called restore.sql. If you want to execute this file in the specific database, okay, you can just use -i option to execute this particular SQL file. Okay, like how you execute @ and the SQL script right in the Oracle database. Similarly, you can execute any kind of SQL scripts. Okay, you want to execute. Okay, and if you want to spool before you execute, you can just use -o option. It will spool. For example, I want to output.log. Okay, and now you execute -i restore.log. Okay, it will spool your all output to this output.log file. Okay, looks like that file is something happened. Yeah, looks like this file doesn't have some set of instructions to okay, here what it did, it has created a database and it has created some types, functions, and tables, okay, and so on. So if you just go to the pSQL and if you just do /l plus, you also see one more database called DVD rental. This database I have created from that script, okay, which I have executed, right? So if you just go inside this, you just do /dn and /dt. So these are the tables which it has created. So by default, it will create in the public. Okay, if you not create any specific customized schema, it will go and create in the public schema. Okay, so we should not create anything in the public schema in real time. So we have to create our own customized schema and we have to store the objects in that schema. Okay, don't worry, we will discuss more how we can create schemas and what is search path and so on. Okay, and now, yeah, sorry. Yeah, now if you want to know the OIDs of your database, you can just select from PG_database. So these are the OIDs which we are talking about. 5 is Postgres, 1 is template 1 and 4 is template 0. So if you go to PG base location, you will find these IDs, okay, which we have already seen, right? So PG data/base. These are the OIDs of each database, okay? The objects which you are storing in the SkyOps will be saved in this OID 97. Okay, if you go inside this 97, the database related files or data files will be saved here. Okay, so that you will understand more better what is _FSM and what is _VM, these things in the table space management. And these are the basic commands. Okay, you try to explore it, and probably next class we will see the parameter file management. Okay, and how we can manage the parameters and how to find out whether static or dynamic. And we also see the main important hp.conf and ident.conf. So what is ident.conf and so on. Okay. So these are the basic commands. We'll share the basic commands lab manual. Okay. You just try to explore how to connect with different options and how to create database, how to check the tables and how to execute a SQL file and how to append that output. Okay, so these things you can try to explore. Okay, we will share some basic commands for now to just you will be like practically aware like how to connect and how to check the basic things inside the database. Yeah, so that's it we have for today. Probably tomorrow we can catch up for more things.
Hey, one question, please. Yeah, can we execute a script from outside and generate a log file?
You meant to say outside means like from other
From the OS prompt, we can execute a script and generate a custom log file like you do from outside, right? In Oracle. Can you do it from Postgres?
Yes, we can do. So you mean to say from, for example, I have a client machine. From that client machine, I want to execute a file in the remote database machine, right?
No. For example, initially you would be connected to the database server, right? On the OS prompt. And from there, using pSQL, any of the options, you can execute the file.
Yes, you can
outside the
execute.
database.
You can just specify -f option and you can execute. Okay, let me share again.
And also generate another file. Is there any -o or something output?
Yes, you can just use, see, in Postgres, you can always use the OS. You can take advantage of Linux commands and you can use. Okay, for example, if I want to execute this, and for example, okay, by default, anyhow, it will connect to. Let me create this. Anyhow, it will fail. Okay, I'm just creating a sample .sql file. So for example, I want to create this particular script in specific database, okay, from OS prompt itself. For example, I want to export this in SkyOps database. Okay, and I'm just passing this file, that's it, with -f option. And even you can append this output to some sample.log, something like this. The table is created. That's it. So you can do with -f option. You can pass the file, whatever you want, script, and you can execute and append to any log file. And even if you want to execute in a specific with a specific user, you can do that. No problem.
All right, and given we have two clusters initialized here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we know which cluster we are connecting to? Because we have different ports, and we have to. It is imperative to mention -p, or by default which port it will use if we don't mention the port.
So if we don't mention, basically it will go and take the default port, and each cluster will have different data directory. You can just see show data underscore directory. It will give which data directory you have connected. So for example, if you want to connect this to this specific cluster, okay, you have to mention -port -p 5433, I guess I'm given, okay, and you can just mention, because for this I haven't set the bash profile.
Yeah, here you can see Darpan, right? Darpan, here you can see we have one is with the default port 5432 and another one is like 33, right? 5433. By default, it will pick like 5432. If we change that both the like cluster port numbers to different instead of default one, then it will like ask, okay, or we need to mention explicitly to connect to the specific instance. That's it.
So here I use 5432, so it connected to this particular new cluster, right? So this is how we can connect. So, but this is not recommended architecture in real time until unless we have specific requirement. Maybe for lower environments we can create, but for production, it's not good to have cluster in the same server. So you should have in a different. But we can create multiple clusters if you have storage, but you have to manage with the ports only. If you want to connect to specific cluster, you have to identify the port, and with that port only you have to find out. You have to connect.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's it we have for today. Probably tomorrow we can catch up for more things. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.